Years before the fall of the Berlin Wall, a young priest from Eastern Europe arrived in England. He had been a secretary to a bishop who was arrested and imprisoned by the state's secret police. The priest recalled what happened on the day of his arrest. Armed men arrived at the bishop's house. They pushed aside the nun who had opened the door in response to their rather loud knocking with guns ablaze, and they moved from room to room in search of their prey. Meanwhile, the priest, fearing that he might also be taken during this arrest, managed to clamber out the window, and for some time, though, he just hung by his fingertips on that ledge for a long time. He hung there precariously. It seemed forever. He recalled that one of the most dreadful aspects of it all was the sheer loneliness, the terrible fear that every beat of his heart and every strain of his fingers, that he would just simply fall, but he didn't. Today, as we listen to St. Mark's grim passion story, we can appreciate how loneliness must have been a bitter ingredient in our Lord's suffering. Even when enemies surrounded him, he had that feeling of being alone in a crowd. It all began in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus, with his closest friends who had fallen asleep, struggled with the anguish so intense, like being on a ledge holding on for dear life, so devastating that it could have proved fatal, a sorrow to the point of death. And yet we all know he would rise again.